Just to check it.
Hey everybody, and I'm back on another stream. I don't know if I'm gonna get any notifications out for this. Just kind of redid this stream, yeah. Wasn't a claim or everything like that. They just said, yeah, this is getting interrupted. So no claim, no strike.
Yeah, no, it's not a strike.
It's not even a penalty. It's pretty hilarious.
Right. It's not even a mark on your record of any kind.
But yeah, and the video will be back on there, so y'all can check out the actual preview. So, that was pretty cool. I'm gonna put a link in after where you guys can go see this yourself. But what do we all think about that 7-minute clip? Let's get some reactions and talk about it, talk about some hopes and dreams.
I'm up for it. I mean, before I wasn't sure, but I'm glad they went, like we had talked about this in passing, the hard R. I'm glad they rated it R. I'm glad that they're going to make it a little gory, because I think the first Mortal Kombat was a huge letdown. I was like, I don't even remember or care.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I the whole point of Mortal Kombat and the big hype behind it was such a violent and gory game. The fatalities, it was something that nobody was doing in video games yet. Right. So if you're gonna make a movie, you got to make it brutal. You know what I mean? So I mean, I didn't even watch the other movie, but I'm assuming that it was, campy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can't have a Mortal Kombat movie campy.
Right.
It's got to be nasty like that.
Yep. T-Virus Terrence says that, Matt Squirrel, the movie has a lot of blood and gore. Well, good.
Yes, and T-Virus, once again, this is not a spoiler review, so don't you tell anything about the movie, but I can just judge from that. Yeah, I could judge from what we saw that this is going to be a much more brutal, visceral movie. I liked the not so much reliance on the CG. I think they showed it the way they needed to. Clearly, they wanted people to know that Sub-Zero with the whole thing with his hand. I like how they didn't show the person being viciously killed. It was more impactful to just show him looking at his family like that and going, oh geez, that's messed up. It's something about that imagery is a little bit it's a little bit more heartbreaking to me, because you see the kid frozen, he's dead. You didn't have to see the action. You see the wife frozen holding the child. I don't think he knows the kid's underneath the floor.
They saved a lot of money in production doing it that way too. Just going straight to the result instead of showing you the process of it.
Yeah, it was a smarter choice to go with the aftermath.
I agree. And it made an impact. It made a better impact.
Right. Hello to chat. Hello back to Virus. Hello, sir. Hello, Becca. She said she tweeted it out. Thank you very much, Becca. Cherry Kate, thank you for being back. Hey, Jerry Godin, how are you? Evelyn, how are you, Evelyn Arnaud?
Rebecca had a good comment. She said,
Arnaud.
Well, much as I got taken aback by the gore, it actually caught my attention. I want to see what happens. I want to see that person get revenge for his murdered family. Yeah.
See, that's always revenge. Like, that stuff is always good. Like, it's like I have a real hard time sitting through a rape scene in a movie. Right. I have a real hard time with it. Right. And when you watch like the American version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, right, with Daniel Craig, there's a really disgusting, horrible scene. Right. And you're just like, oh, God, is it still going on? Jesus, like I got it. But the beauty of it is the revenge scene makes up for it completely. The revenge scene is that much sweeter because you had to experience that horribleness earlier in the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I mean, sometimes it's necessary, in my opinion, to tell the story and to get the reaction from the audience that you're looking for. Sometimes it's necessary because at first you think, oh, no, seeing that, I'm like, that's not necessary. I don't need to see this in detail like this.
Right.
You know, this is really, really, it's a lot, man.
But you got to get the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When you get that revenge scene in there, man, it makes up for it. You know.
I think it's. I like the trailer. I'm emotionally invested, and I think that's what they wanted. And in order to get your audience on the side of certain characters, to get them involved in the fight, right? You have to get them emotionally invested in the characters and to some relatability, because, you think your loved one, perfect way to get somebody in the door is like revenge. If somebody messes with my kids, dude, Sub-Zero does that crap in my house, it's over.
Right. So when you see a scene that's difficult to watch like that, and you're just like, man, what the hell?
Right.
But then the revenge scene is that much more brutal. Like, because you had to sit through that before, you're like, yes, get that motherfucker, get him. And you just get that much more excited because you had to sit there through witnessing this person be absolutely vile. So once they get theirs, you're that much more pumped for it because you had to go through that.
Terrence, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I know there's a lot of people on the Sub-Zero camp, lot on the Scorpion. I've always been a Scorpion guy. I like both of their motivations, because if it follows close to the MK lore, there's a reason why Sub-Zero is doing what he's doing. There's a puppet master behind the scenes who has kind of pit these two for their own reasons that they want them to fight specifically.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys know the Mortal Kombat lore,
Your hand is blocking my beautiful face.
Quan Chi. Quan Chi.
Just saying.
Quan
Is
Chi.
Baraka going to be in this?
I have no clue, to tell you the truth. I didn't know they were going to have, it looks like they're going to have Goro and that flying one. I forget her name. I saw
Goro, yeah. I saw him.
They're going to be mixing a lot of characters, which is why I'm interested to see which way they go with it. Like, are they following the first game? Are they mixing all three? Is it its own thing? It's kind of a weird.
And as long as it does well, there's room for a whole franchise and make a sequel and bring other characters in. So there's always that. And besides, Baraka was already in Wolverine Origins at the end anyway. So,
right.
Rebecca, yes, Scorpion is the guy with the family. Hattori Hanzo. He I don't really want to ruin it in case, I mean, it's in the old movie, but for people who haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin what happens to him, right. But there's a long journey there. And
hello, Lemon Pie. And also hello to Planet Q's Queen, who popped in also. Hello.
Lemon Pie says, wow, you have Joe Rogan on the panel. Yes, you do. I should promote it, like, featuring Joe Rogan.
Clickbait.
But no, I think that part was good. I like the use of slow motion in this, which I want to touch on. Like, God, that's so overused, and not just from Zack Snyder. He made it popular, but every filmmaker used the slow motion to death.
I got the feels of an old martial arts movie from the 70s with that slow motion. Like, that slow motion gave me that kind of so I feel like they're probably paying some homage to those classic samurai movies from the 70s.
We were just talking about that because I had watched the trailer prior. I hadn't seen this clip, but I saw the trailer, and that was the feel of it. Was that what actual storylines of like the old Japanese, samurai films mixed in with, I think it'll be very interesting to see what comes out of this, but it has that feel to it. And that made me excited because I was like, oh, I like that.
Right.
It's been a minute since we've actually had a really awesome samurai film like that, where you actually have a backstory, you have a lot of passion behind the characters. It's not just like, I'm here to slaughter you,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it reminds me. He reminds me, and that's what I like too. Like you were saying, he reminds me a lot of those old samurais where they have the most tragic backstory they could possibly make, and then you have, he comes in and he's like, "I'm just gonna slaughter everyone," and you bastard, like the kind of thing that they used to do. If you guys watched a lot of kung fu movies, that was like the ultimate curse. Like they would say a bunch of things about the people's family and go, "You bastard."
Yeah. T-Virus Terrence is saying Zod Johnny Cage is based on Jean-Claude Van Damme from Bloodsport, which I agree with because he's a movie star, martial artist, and real pretty boy type.
Right.
And I'll be right back. You guys just talk amongst yourself.
Another thing T-Virus Terrence said was a lot of the Mortal Kombat characters are based on martial arts stars from the 70s and 80s. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's what Mortal Kombat was badass for, the game, Fake super chat. I'm going to read this while he's gone. From Ancient One.
I think Liu Kang was supposed to be like Jackie Chan, more or less. Like a young Jackie Chan. And
he was a feisty little man.
Right. Yeah. I loved Tekken though, because I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, so I used to play with Law all the time.
Right.
But yeah, it's just weird, man. These movies, it's hard to imagine how they could create a story for it like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Old video games, anyway.
Right.
Because I just don't see there being a good story, but here it seems like they may have pulled that off.
Wash your hands, did you?
Yeah, I think they did. Really quick, fake super chat from Ancient One. Thank you, Ancient One. He said, colossal size bag of premium nuts and premium acorns for Mad Squirrel, her husband, Com Squirrel, Otto Squirrel, and the little squirrel so they don't have to rattle the tree. Thank you very much. Sorry. Thank you, Lemon Pie. I'll take that any day. It's cool. I'll take a compliment. That's good. Moving along. All right.
So, I pulled up some stuff. I'm gonna just show some pictures because it's a lot safer.
Yeah. Let's not go for a part 3.
Yeah, we're not gonna go for another pulled stream because
T-Virus said Liu Kang's design in the first Mortal Kombat game is based on Bruce Lee's appearance in Enter the Dragon.
Ooh, yeah, I agree with that. So,
Hail Sagan. he loved it. Yeah, he liked the trailer. Yeah.
So we got
like 7 minutes.
So if you guys don't know, this is kind of the cast right here from the game. You got Sub-Zero, Scorpion. That's actually Cassie Cage, Johnny Cage's daughter. That's Devera and Raiden. So there's a couple of I don't know. This guy's supposed to be a new guy, so he's not actually Sub-Zero. He's the new guy. I don't know what his character is supposed to be. From what I heard,
Cole.
Yeah, Cole, which is a strong name. Strong name. I love it.
Cole Young is his name.
Cole. So
in the film.
Brokeback Mountain handsome. Oh boy.
Lemon pie. Oh my.
Take that. You take that compliment.
Lemon pie says, Don, you look sharp as well. Brokeback Mountain handsome.
Cheers.
That was good. That was pretty good.
What can I say?
I'm not ashamed to say, man, that I'd say Brokeback Mountain is probably my favorite love story of any movie. Ever.
Thank you. I've been saying that for years. Everybody goes, but dude, it's like
well, that's the whole point. It's unlike any love story you've ever seen. It's completely and totally original, and it's valid, and it's deep, and Ang Lee is just brilliant when it comes to cinematography. It's beautiful.
Yeah. No, what are you doing?
Beautifully shot.
How are you taking control of my stream?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to find that one.
Really, she's reaching across for the mouse.
1 second. I'm trying to find that comment. Just let me focus. All of us, I can still read better than you, so just let me.
Wait. Just tell me the comment. And I'll do
oh wait, there it is. Okay.
This looks really terrible.
Fantastic.
Oh, see, I respect Evelyn's suggestion.
At first, I was like, "What does that mean? Like, what exactly does that mean?" But I think if I just slap you in the face,
Or pop him right in the back. He's big.
No, don't slap me in my face because right now the jaw is still like kind of.
oh yeah, the thing that might be expensive to take care of. But
No,
you're like, no, I'm
gonna do the guy thing and I'm gonna ignore it until I can't. That's what men do. Sit in the second shelf and bury that shit.
Terrence says that he challenges you to Mortal Kombat.
Terrence, I've seen you with your shirt not on several times. No thanks.
He said $500 super chat challenge.
If you send $500, Terrence, then I will go over there right now.
I will take it. Thank you very much.
Oh my. Terrence says that you guys are using fatalities though.
I mean, all right. Well, Bitchy can still run the channel.
I'm going to take your money. That's what I'm going to do.
She's like, I'm going to go fund you.
You've been taking my money. Now it's my turn. I take your money.
See, this is synergy. It's a circle of life.
This is going to last for at least a whole year. I'm going to be taking your money.
Hi, lemon pie.
So, okay, so what do you guys think the prediction is? Where do you think that they're going to go with this? What do you guys want to see in this movie? And we'll kind of go from there. So I'll start with the person who just loved the first movie, Squirrel. What do you want to see in this movie?
This party just picked up because Pop Culture PB just showed up in the chat.
Yeah, he says motherfucker is a liar.
Motherfucker is a liar, and he didn't even break the board on his head.
Wait, didn't you break a board on stream?
Yes, live.
With your
Yes,
head?
he did.
Did you really?
He wanted a thicker board for.
Good.
Yeah.
Why have I not seen this?
Oh my god, I was on a live stream like a while ago. Like what was it? It wasn't last year.
Yeah, it was like my 500 live stream.
Yeah, we had 5-hour subs. He broke a board with his head.
And it was a very fun experience.
That was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Because I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was in the dojo.
How many beers did it take to get ready for that?
Not enough.
You had been drinking, but it wasn't enough that night.
Oh.
He's like, oh wow.
I broke it and I said, "This is not like the movies."
You think? That's okay.
Wow.
You have a pretty hard, stubborn head, so.
My brother has had like 12 or 13 concussions throughout his life. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, really quick, Terrence said that you are his friend. Don't worry. He won't, he might not be able to walk for a week, but you'll be fine. Yeah. You want to elaborate on that?
Turn off the water.
Oh my goodness.
Bad bitch.
PB does remind you that the 1K board on head was your promise.
Yeah. Thank you, PB. You could shout at me if you were in here. So
Stone Cold Jeremy.
$2 super chat from Stone Cold Jeremy. He says, "Cheers, everyone."
And that's the bottom line.
Thanks, Stone Cold Jeremy. Hello. What beers? Lots of beers. I don't know. I'm excited about this movie. I'm probably going to see it for sure. Like I'm up for it.
It sold me. It was smart to release those first 7 minutes like that, man. So people know not to expect anything like the other movie.
Right.
I feel like that was the strategy. Like, okay, let's give them a taste. Let's give them the first 7 minutes of the movie and just make sure people get it. What we're trying to do here. So I thought that was a smart move on their part to do that.
Here's another.
Now I want to see it. I didn't care about it before. I honestly didn't.
Here's another smart and potentially risky move that they did. So I went to see Kong versus Godzilla with the little one, and they had the Mortal Kombat trailer in Kong versus Godzilla edited. Like they cut it like they didn't have the violence, and there were people in the crowd going, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that," with their kid going, "Yeah, we're gonna go and take them to see this." It's like, oh boy, I hope you guys saw the NPR rating, because you're surprised when you take little Johnny in and he sees a kunai and goes through someone's head.
No, what was that movie? Like,
I mean, people were getting killed, man. That city was getting destroyed. Hong Kong was getting wrecked. You know what I'm saying in that movie? So people were dying straight up. There were people in those buildings. You know what I mean?
That's what we were talking about when we were watching it. And then they had to show a subway to remind people, oh, yeah, there's still people in this city running for help.
Right. I mean, that's crazy.
Honestly, I think more people got killed in Godzilla than they're going to in Mortal Kombat. Because at least in Mortal Kombat, it's like this little group. Like the villagers were the only collateral because he's a dick. But
yeah, I liked it. I liked Godzilla and Gong. I liked it.
It was better than the other ones. Let me say that. Like there was more memorable parts in it. You know, for me, I liked it a lot. Like I loved.
Speaking of like putting that together, I remember there was an animated, about people dying in the buildings and stuff. There was an animated Batman movie called Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Great movie. And there's a scene where Joker gets a hold of the controls of a satellite laser that can pinpoint places, then he's blowing things up, and he's just got this laser blasting through the city in Gotham, just blowing up buildings, and he's laughing hysterically, but you don't really put that together because it's weird. Subconsciously, you still think of it as a kid's show, so you just blow that off. You don't really think about it. But I remember after watching the movie so many times because I love it, I'm like, dude, yeah, I never really put that together, but there's people in those buildings, dude. This is not a kid's movie at all.
I was remembering when I was younger. I don't know if y'all remember the movie Kick-Ass. I love the first one.
Wow. Yeah,
and I remember that the people thought that was a superhero movie, but it was like low key, like, oh, everyday person being a superhero. I can't tell you how many pissed off parents, especially when the little girl started talking, who's my favorite character, and she was like pick up your balls off the floor.
Yeah. I thought Nick Cage was brilliant in Kick-Ass.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That was, and it falls in the same line. Like they did this. It was funny. In Godzilla, I seen them poorly market two of these movies. They did it for Mortal Kombat and for Suicide Squad. And I'm like, you're showing Harley Quinn and John Cena, and he's been in kids' movies. So you're going to have all of these parents who are going to go see an R-rated Suicide Squad or an R-rated Mortal Kombat. And they're going to be absolutely pissed off.
Yeah, but I mean, I like that they're doing that, man.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they're becoming more. I mean, the bottom line is that the age demographic generally, because what's the answer to 99 out of 100 questions at the end of the day?
No.
It's money. So the target demographic, I mean, the overall demographic, the demand is among the demographic of people at least 18 or older. So so it just makes sense to make it for people who are no strangers to curse words, who are okay with blood and gore in movies. You know, like I had this fantasy. It's something I'm a procrastinator and I'm a total underachiever, but I had this fantasy of writing a screenplay for a $6 billion man movie. Because of inflation, it wouldn't be 6 million, it would be 6 billion.
Right.
And I remember thinking, well, the only people that would appreciate this are people my age or older. you know, or as far as loving that character and wanting to see this character on the big screen. And I thought of, instead of him being an astronaut and crashing, he's some special forces badass and got quartered, all his limbs blown off in a battle, and then he gets rebuilt into a bionic man. You know, and but they send him into like straight war zones, and then he's like ripping people's limbs off and beating them with it. You know, I wanted to make something like that. You know, that's something I would love to see, is my point. I would love to see that, because nobody, let's face it, no little kid is going, I want to see a $6 billion man movie. No little kid's doing that. So it's only people my age or older. You know, so
and sometimes you gotta not necessarily rebrand it, but I guess re-present it in a different manner where it appeal to a new generation, but in the same kind of context, the same idea of what that is entailing, and also tie in a lot of the modern technologies they're trying to push.
Dude, my son, right? Yeah, exactly. And my son is 20 now. You know what I mean? And even he's way too young to appreciate $6 Million Man or Bionic Woman or, you know, any of those characters. He's just too young. So, I mean, you know, so Mortal Kombat is pretty much the same thing. These are not, you know, if there are kids who like Mortal Kombat, it's because they like the graphic. They like that it's gory. That was the appeal when we were kids and Mortal Kombat came out. You know, it was it's the fact that it was super violent and graphic.
Right.
You know,
and what they did is they gutted it and made it like family friendly, and they tried to market it like that to get it into theaters. But I think now we have an oversaturation of like the quote, you know, superhero genre, where that's taken all of that, you know, the PG-13 ratings and, you know, all the G, and people are just like, can't we just have a nice violent film, you know, even if it's like fantasy based? I mean, that's why Godzilla, I think the Godzilla versus Kong, you know, thing, it did well, because it's just that perfect element of just fantasy, but violence in a context of violence, not just brutal violence for no particular reason, you know, getting out of that Saw crap. Oh, $5 super chat from Mega Jetty.
Oh man, that's super cool. I got to subscribe to that channel, dude. You're doing a Lethal Weapon 2 review?
Yep.
He does a lot of that.
I got to subscribe to this, dude.
Also, too, he did a review on one of my favorite, most underrated games ever, 24. He had to repost another one, but yeah, that game was so underrated, and it was so much like the show. Kiefer Sutherland voiced it, which most people don't know, and the original cast. And they had mini games where you can torture people and interrogate them, just like Jack Bauer. Like, I felt so badass. I was like, "Where's the bomb?" And they tell me, and I torture them anyway. So, like, I love that game. It was like,
sorry, really quick, Ancient One. Com Squirrel is actually, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. He'll never do that, but he's in chat right now. He's under Hale Sagan. That's his handle on YouTube. So he's actually in chat, hanging out, listening, and chilling.
That's a great handle too.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of a creative handle for sure. That's a good one.
Loves his Hale Sagan. But damn, there was a comment in here. I'm trying to scroll. Oh, Stone Cold Jeremy had said the first Kick-Ass movie was good. The comic was a lot darker and violent. The movie deviated big time from the comics in the second movie.
That always
was trashed as a result. Yeah, it sucks.
That always happens. And it's because the problem is, I mean, we've seen this and heard this so many times. I've heard you guys talk about it on this channel over and over again. When the production company gets a hold of the movie, it doesn't matter. You know, they're gonna do what they think is gonna make more money.
I'm sorry. The wife is killing me here. She's trying to sneak over and get the mouse so that she can click random chats. Like, do you see her behind the couch right now? She literally tried to go scurry behind the couch.
Because, like, oh, he's gonna be too focused.
Oh my goodness! Welcome to the fandom zone.
Was creaking like a motherfucker. I couldn't do it.
And Rebecca says, then the power is yours at Bitchy Unicorn. Get up and tower over him.
I mean, I already do. I already do by like a good half inch at least.
I mean, yeah.
Oh man,
Give it to me.
so much violence.
No, you don't need the freaking mouse, woman.
Oh, PB says, "Fuck off, Zod. Bitch, he deserves that mouse."
Yeah, I do.
PB, you can't say any comments unless you're here. Nah.
You already give me something else that's small. Now just give me that.
Negotiation.
Oh my goodness. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So we're in agreement. This is a great film. There's not really. See, I don't know past a reaction. I don't know what else you could really say that really draws it out. I mean, I didn't want to do a video, but doing the live stream, I'm like, what else am I going to talk about to make this like an hour long, so people will be watching this for an hour? Because I mean, we're all in agreement. We want to see this movie. Looks good.
It does. I'm definitely looking forward to it now.
Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, so I guess the only other thing that I could think of is there was a story that I read on actually that can, I guess, get your guys' opinions. But so while I have everyone here, and Glare, I know you didn't answer or get a chance to answer this. Body cam footage. Let's talk about it.
I haven't seen it.
You
Oh,
have
wow.
not seen.
What buddy got what?
Oh,
The Amber Heard body cam footage.
Oh no, I haven't. Seen
let me give you the Cliff Notes, the abridged version.
Let me give you the Cliff Notes. Body cam footage doesn't prove anything. Okay? Pictures aren't proof. You don't. Pictures aren't proof of anything. Who told you that?
Or audio evidence, or direct quotes,
No.
or
No. Oh no.
does Amber know like you're her number one fan? Like, does she know you have a tattoo and a muggle? Like,
I sure hope so.
I hope she follows you back.
that would be hilarious if that happened for you trolling. She'd be like, I actually have a fan. Oh my god. But no, I want to come at this at a different angle. Let's talk about realistically, because I have this chat with Father Zod, and this is a very interesting thing. So we're seeing a lot of Hollywood stars take a hit, depending on what side. And I know people don't like politics, but depending on what side you fall politically, it's the truth. You either get saved from these things or you get destroyed. But what I find so fascinating about this case in particular is it would appear that no, PB, no, you cannot berate me.
That's what I'm laughing at. I can't stop reading PB's chat comments. They're hilarious.
Link, he says. Link.
See,
off,
I have the power. I have the power to never send you a link.
Oh
now,
my.
So funny.
now I'm in the driver's seat. Haha. Who's the real villain?
My God. Power has corrupted all things.
You power drunk son of a bitch.
But no, I find this interesting, which I want to explore a little bit tonight.
Can we play that footage? Can we see it?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we played it before.
Twitter. It's not
it's just muted.
copyrightable. Is that a word?
Cool.
Now it is.
I'd like to know what the hell we're talking about.
Hold on, let me see if I can. I gotta go into my many Twitter things and see
You're
who
so
sent
popular.
I DM'd you a link about a minute ago, PB.
me. I totally did not, and I totally disagree with this.
Oh yeah, just
No,
sent
actually, I sent him a link too, but he was too busy yelling at me, I guess, to look in his DMs because
He says you're the belle of villains. Oh my.
Let me see. I'm gonna look this up because this is just ridiculous. Let me see if. Here we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I found the actual article with it. So.
Mega Jetty says, forgot to mention Zod. You can thank my stepdad for getting me into 24.
Oh, because I know everybody in the Dep community has been posting about this. Nerdette's Newsstand posted a video about it. Tug did a video about it. I just haven't watched any of them, but all of the titles are like body cam footage exposes Amber Heard as a liar, or something to that effect.
Oh, speaking of exposing,
T-Virus Terrence has to take off. He goes, he has to go. I'll see you soon, Terrence.
Zod.
That's fair.
I
Good night,
love
Terrence.
you too, PB.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I did not do that at all.
You did it.
Mr. Zod's ripping a page out of Father Zod's book here. He was doing that to you the other day.
No, I actually didn't. I did not do that.
Oh.
I did not remove the icon.
You just went with it and played it like took credit for it.
Oh, hello, PB.
Hi, PB.
Okay, so are we gonna have to expose his lies that he literally was saying? Hey, you can't yell at me unless you're on the panel, motherfucker. I can't be on the panel if you don't let me have the key.
A link?
Oh no!
A unicorn. I'll take bowling
don't
for
taunt
me.
me.
Did you mute him? Did you mute him?
No. His phone's doing all the work.
No,
for me.
it's his service. It's his service. You could tell that how his voice was. It was delayed. It kept.
Good night, Terrence. Terrence is
Oh, I
out.
sounded like a goddamn robot. That's terrible.
Oh.
So yes, Glare, you have not witnessed this, so
No.
I'll pull this up for you.
Anything that shows my baby, okay,
Oh my God.
it's gonna make my night.
The fuck is happening? Oh no, the striped socks again?
Compact SUV. You're probably considering the usual suspects.
Oh,
But
boy.
now's the time to
Oh,
consider.
at least we get an ad first. Thank
Because
God.
You can't complain about ads now, though.
Yeah, this is. If I get struck for this ad, I'm gonna be super pissed.
You're not gonna get struck for the ad.
Like an SUV.
They're gonna be like
Volkswagen
Volkswagen's gonna be like,
Hilarious.
hey.
Zero down, zero deposit,
No,
0%
actually,
payment, and 0 due at
what if I get
0%
promoted by them? That'd be
financing for
great.
72 months.
I don't even.
I know, right?
I'll take it.
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen.
Look at these guys.
When you
coming
want
to
the best in German engineering.
coming to harass my boo.
They would never do such a thing. They're upstanding officials of the law.
Exactly.
Oh goodness! Like I love how they turn on and you hear like the.
The end of this video would be perfect with Johnny Depp in handcuffs, homie.
Cheers, so
Wait a
stupid.
second. Wait a second. Did I just join this live stream just in time for the glare to be disrobing his uncameraed half?
Anything for you, PB. Anything for you.
Just keep your hands where I can see them.
Oh goodness! I love how you get the full clanking. Like that's great. Here comes the greatest shot
Dude, I'm
ever.
supposed to be asleep right now. And now we get
The
to
only
see the
way this
ridiculous
is-
stripes
the
on the
only-
ridiculous stripes.
The only way this is going to be the greatest shot ever is if it's a shot of pepper spray in Johnny's face.
Oh my.
No, look at those socks. I like how he's got like the douchebag tattoos. Like, I'm so bad because I got a full sleeve go down my hands.
Who's this guy? Who is this guy?
That's exactly our point.
Oh my god, this fucking echo. Like, I thought my problems were fucking bad, but this guy at the top of the screen here, get some fucking headphones that work properly.
No, I don't have my headphones in because Bitchy is here and she can't hear everything if I put my headphones on.
No, that's fine. You can hear
Who is that? Who is that robust
Oh, Josh
gentleman?
Drew. That is Josh Drew.
Who's Josh Drew?
A friend.
That-
Well, I
That
forgot
is
his
the stain. That's the stain on the carpet in the video.
Is he somebody she's sleeping with or something? I don't understand.
KH says it's Rocky's boyfriend or fiance. So, he's just like, I don't know, a glorified pool boy, but I guess he does stuff for Amber.
Okay.
Stuff.
So what's his significance?
He's a friend
Nothing.
of hers. He just answered the door, and he wouldn't let him in at first. This is his second call
He
that
wears
night.
ugly socks.
So
So what does this prove that Amber is a liar of? Like what?
Well, she claimed there was glass all over the floor. There was broken stuff in the house. The first set of cops they sent out, they didn't have any body cam footage on. They weren't wearing their cameras. They just went to the home because one was a domestic violence counselor officer,
Right.
and the other was just a regular police officer. And so they went to the house, did not find any evidence of domestic violence. After questioning him, they found nothing. Johnny wasn't home when the cops show up because I guess there was a double call made to 911. That's why the second set of cops came. So when they showed up, they still didn't see any evidence of wine on the carpet, broken glass on the kitchen floor around the island. They claimed broken containers of vases and all that other stuff.
And fruit everywhere. Now,
That's right.
Claire, you're pretty good with this, diving into evidence and stuff like that. Just your pure professional opinion. Does that house look like it's been through any traumatic experience? Does it look like a monster came through there wrecking shit? And
Well, I'm not a professional anything, but well, I guess you could say I'm kind of a professional troll because I kind of get paid for it.
Oh, I
now.
thought you were gonna say you're a professional glarer.
But I did not see any what looked like signs of any type of domestic struggle or anything of that nature. I mean,
It was from the first set of officers that went to the home to the second set. It was an hour and a half, and they claimed that they cleaned everything up between then, and that's why. And they have photographs though of all the broken, but those items are on the counter, and the house pretty much looks, undisturbed. And
yeah,
when
that's
they came in,
what I'm saying is why is it so hard to believe that they cleaned up?
well, that's the problem though is the first officers
They
didn't
got a
see
carpet cleaner and got the wine stain out before the camera recorded.
Like the first set of officers and the domestic violence person that came out or whatever, they didn't see any evidence. They spoke to Amber directly. She had her friends there. There was counting Amber. There was 3 girls on the couch. So Amber sitting and part of the 3 girls sitting on the couch, they were talking and hanging out and laughing. The guy that answered the door was her best friend at the time, is what KH I think elaborated on in the chat, or maybe it was Rebecca. I apologize, but that was her best friend at the time, was that guy Josh. And Josh didn't want to let the cops in because they'd already had a call. The cops were like, well, can we come in and just make sure everything's okay and that she's safe or whatever. And they had to ask, for who's Amber, they asked, like, who's Amber? Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine, blah, blah, blah. And kind of just acted like no big deal, sent the cops on their way because the first set found no evidence of anything and just let it go after talking to her and said, and
yeah. Well, that's, I mean, in a domestic violence situation, usually cops, well, first of all, they ask more questions, right. If they suspect something took place there. And they're going to look at her and they're going to say, do you need medical attention? Right. Why don't you tell me what happened? And somebody usually makes a statement to a police officer and then the other person talks to the other police officer.
Right.
I mean, you've never seen that. Like, you've never had somebody in your apartment complex have the cops called on them because they got in a fight. And then you just see, you see the one person over here and then the other person over here, each talking to a different cop. So
I assume that the glarer is always calling the cops on all of his tenants.
That's what I do. That's exactly what I do.
They're like, there's nothing going on here.
There's
nothing going on here.
She claims that they didn't clean and both sets of cops saw the mess and all the damage. The cops said they didn't see a mess. So this proves that the cops were right at the time when they went to the scene. So she lied. #shocker. But
yeah, because her claims were counter to the cops, and then this body cam footage came because the cops have been saying in sworn testimonies, depositions, that they didn't see any signs of a struggle, any disturbances. They, like you said, Glare, they went through the whole "Are you okay?" blah blah blah, and she blew it off. And then came out and said, "Oh my God, everything was broken.
It's destroyed. I can't believe what a messy crime scene."
I mean, it's always possible to clean up between officers and things, but because the first set of police found no evidence, they would have taken photos with or without Johnny being present. If there was a domestic dispute and there's witnesses, which she claims, there would have been a report made. There would have been photos taken regardless, and then like a conversation would have been had, and it would have been on file with the police, what they found at the scene. But none of those things happened. So it's like, it just doesn't ring right. I've had friends who've had domestic violence and the cops were way more inquisitive because they did see the evidence of that.
Right.
Even in behavior,
at least enough probable cause to ask questions.
Absolutely.
Like they hardly asked anything. They did a walkthrough of the house. They looked, everything looked okay. And then they were like, all right, everybody's good here. Okay, we'll see you.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing. Which leads me to my next question, and I'll go across the whole panel and get what they think. Because I'm not going to go too long because PB's got to get rest or he's going to hit bears in the morning. So I'm going to ask.
Fucking bears anyway.
I'm going to ask. Given the dynamics of this case, do you guys think that this will be a very rare occasion where we might see the female claiming this in this kind of a case where AH's career might take a hit? Because I've had extensive talks about this with Father's Odd, and I find it fascinating. Glare, I'm going to take your comment with an extreme prejudice, so I'll let you answer, but I already know where you're going to lead towards that. You're going to be like, Amber's going to be in 16 other.
Well, no, in all seriousness, like what's the end game here for Johnny Depp fans in this community? Like what would everyone like to see happen?
I'm going to go with the side. Well, you know what? Let's let the fans answer that because I could give my answer for that. But let's
throw it to the fans. You lazy fuck.
Because my answer personally, I'd like to see her take a hit on her career. I have seen so many male celebrities. I've seen so many male celebrities who have taken hits for stupid shit that's not proven at all. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be beautiful if for once we can show the hypocrisy can exist on both sides so that, I don't know, we can have fair and partial treatment for both parties? Like, she diminishes the struggles for women of domestic violence by claiming something like that. Because
I agree. If you're not a victim of domestic violence and you're claiming to be one, man, that is, to say the least, incredibly insensitive to victims who are, to people who are victims of domestic violence. It's incredibly insensitive. It's just plain wrong. To accuse someone and try to defame them in that way, when it's not true. You know what I mean? But does anybody believe that this is possibly a two-sided? I don't know all the evidence. I'm just asking questions. I'm not trolling, seriously. Does anybody believe that they're both responsible and both accountable for certain actions? Does anybody believe that Johnny Depp's behavior has been at least questionable in their marriage?
Because given from what the evidence that I've seen, I do know there's some texts out there where he got upset and he said some stuff, but they were private between him and his friends that mysteriously got leaked. Wonder how that happened. And from what I've seen from his...
Yeah, man, I'd be going to prison if everybody freaking released the messages that I said about Zod. My God.
Oh, yeah. Right. He'd be going to jail. I'd probably be dead.
Fucker shared the goddamn tweet in like 5 groups. I was like, what is going on my phone right now? There's literally one fucking guy.
Rebecca had a comment. It was very good. I'm going to go back. She almost went on a full... She's like, I'm going to get riled up. But she said, it's not about being a fan of Johnny Depp. Most in this community are survivors of domestic violence, just as Depp is. It's about recognizing men, too, can and are victims of domestic violence, and women can be and are abusers. Yes. I mean, that's a very strong point.
Did you say Rebecca?
What is Cherry Kay talking about? That she
did I say Rebecca? I'm sorry.
She literally doses him up with Xanax because he called her out. I don't understand that. What does she mean by that? What does Cherry Kay mean by that?
I don't know.
Doses who up? She says she literally doses him up with Xanax before he called her out.
I mean, I feel like that's self-explanatory. She was giving him Xanax. Like, do you know what Xanax does to
without
humans?
his knowledge?
Apparently.
I think that I don't know. Weird. I think the behavior on both sides is meaning if you're in a relationship, that was a one-night stand that became a marriage, and that's really unfortunate. But this is just no, I'm serious. This is truth. He learned this relationship was dysfunctional, I think, from the beginning, whether or not they realized it or, they had a dynamic that was going on. Maybe she was pretending to be someone she wasn't, which happens. It happens all the time. But in the end, when you're in a certain relationship and you start to get physical violence in any way, shape, or form on either side is a message or red flag to you as an individual.
Nobody should be
red card.
Right. Nobody should be hitting anybody, and as soon as somebody does,
unless it's from behind,
it's clearly toxic, and you need to separate and then decide later if it can work or not. But you need to get away from each other if it gets physical. I'm of the opinion that you should get away from each other once nasty things are said to each other. Right. You know what I mean?
Rebecca has a great comment to you. She said, a serious question to the Glare. Has he listened to the audio recordings? Not trying to be rude.
I listened to them a long time ago. There was a creator called Misery, and his chats were always super fun and always a shit ton of
Did
people.
he love company?
Not really.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, and he would go over. I remember him going over the tapes, but they didn't like sit with me to where I became like, oh, I need to like really follow this. I just remember the live stream and listening to them, and he does a lot of like commentary over it. You know what I mean? He does little voices and stuff. So it was more just making, it was a funny stream. We were laughing about it. But yeah.
Hello to Sean B and hello to Billie Jean. How are you?
It's not my lover.
It was in the audio though.
Happening.
It was in the audio though about the Xanax thing, like the drugging thing, and there's a lot of stuff that was said. Like you can see that there was obviously
Does she admit to dosing him with Xanax, but without his knowledge?
Yeah.
Why?
Because she's a psycho bitch.
Because she's a dumb cunt.
TV said he had to hunt tomorrow. That's why he's getting up late.
Because she said that the comment basically she elaborated on like, well, you're just out of control and you need to relax and blah blah blah.
You're out of control. You need to relax.
Yeah. It was a lot of like,
Johnny.
Oh my. But it was a lot of rambling and things like that. You know what I mean? Like of her justification of doing so. And it was really, I don't know. It's a little creepy, just the way all that was going down, the arguing, the banter back and forth. KH said Depp told her that if there was any more physical violence, that they would have to separate. And AH responded with, "No, we don't." Oh,
yeah,
my.
she's one of those. Like she reminds me.
I know the type.
Yeah, she reminds me of that girl that you go, it's over,
Yeah,
and she goes,
type.
oh yeah, and lights your car on fire.
Rebecca says, Claire, you need to listen to Incredible Averages video on it. But anyway, she said that she had control over his medication. That was one of the things that came out. Was that?
But why? I mean, yeah, that's what I'm. Why wouldn't you just fucking leave? That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you just leave as soon as, dude? I don't care if it's my wife. I don't care if it's my mom. If somebody is doing that to my medication, like to my prescribed medication,
right?
Like I'm leaving. Like you're trying to kill me. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like I'm out.
Yeah. And that was the other thing, like that she was like angry at him, and I agree with Cherry K brought up this point.
Oh, I know that type too. Yeah.
She hated him for not fighting with her.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I've been with someone like that and I still left. Shocker. Yeah. Like, bye.
I remember there was a skit, and it reminds me a lot. Chris Rock talks about it, and he goes, you ever get into an argument? Or no, it was Dane Cook. He goes, you ever been in those arguments? And he goes, sometimes you get to that point in the relationship where you know it's not working. So to reinvigorate it, you start a fight for no reason. And he's like, you'll say something like, you look fat. Now fight me for a week. That kind of a thing. That's the kind of person she is. Like, she reminds me of that person that argues just to argue.
Somebody who just has to have turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
They feed off of conflict.
Negative attention is still attention, like a toddler.
But they prefer the negative over the positive. They'll literally find a way to manipulate something positive into being something negative. Mm-hmm. I was practically married to someone just like this, where I was like, we're having a good day. We're having a good day, and I will literally say something nice, and then somehow it gets twisted into that I was saying something mean or rude or being insensitive or being, and I was like, no, like, and I could be a sarcastic person, but this is someone who knew the difference between my sarcasm and when I'm being real,
right.
Like, and my listeners know that, and I don't even know them personally. You know what I mean? So it's like
some people know how to push the buttons.
Do
right.
my listeners know that?
What? You're never
Yeah,
sarcastic,
yeah.
TV. Well, actually, I think you're 90% honest with what you say to me. But to be fair, in this relationship, I know the buttons to push.
Well, at Depp's age, see, Rebecca is saying, so you tell me if you were him, if you were in Depp's situation, you had been sold the dream of yourself and it was turning into a nightmare, what would you do? My whole thing with that is the reason why I went through what I went through was because I was young and I was afraid of being alone. You know what I mean? And I had kids with this person, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I want to make
It sounds like the Glarer was flying southwest regardless.
Well, what I'm saying here, though, is at Depp's age, Depp's older than me. At his age, you should have enough sense to just be like, dude, this is crazy. This isn't going to work. No, I'm out. Done.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going through a bad time in his life with no friends, his family cut off. Yeah, because that was the second part.
He was so far deep in by the time everything went down that I think he didn't even know how to like pull his ass out of that situation without taking a hit in some way. Like it's one of those things we don't know everything behind closed doors, but when I listen to that audio, I'm like, dude, this isn't going to go well. Like, this is already going to tell this audio wasn't going to go well. I was like, I would have already left, just me. I guess it's a certain type of personality that, does well in those situations, meaning under pressure, you finally, something clicks. Maybe it's all about your life experiences. Like what's going to click enough to get you out the door.
I think so too, but we're talking about a guy who hung out with Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
This is, he knows better. You know what I mean? What are you doing?
The Ancient One had a good point. He said, unfortunately, the Glare, no matter how old people are, every person is bound by different levels of maturity. This is a fact. And
I agree, but what kind of a personality, what type of a character gets developed from living the lifestyle that he's lived all these years, and like I said, hanging out with people like Hunter S. Thompson. Do you guys know anything about Hunter S. Thompson? I'm not saying that sarcastically. Like, this guy's daily habits were crazy. These are not like his role in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is no exaggeration at all.
And that was actually like very softened.
Right.
That was a softened version of that.
That was a whole nother. Very soft. Like very soft.
He lived, from what I understand, if I remember correctly, he lived in his basement. Hunter Thompson shaved his head for the role.
Yeah.
He shaved Johnny's head for the role to play him. They were buddies. He lived in his house. You know what I'm saying? So you see this guy who's completely irrational. He shoots guns for fun, and his breakfast consists of cocaine, whiskey, LSD. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
All those drugs flaw your reality and yourself and your image of who you are. Because, I think the thing is like Johnny is in a different subsect. Like, I think he's gotten older. Things have finally come into his brain of like, oh my God, I can't be doing
but that's what I'm saying is that should have happened earlier.
Hold on.
A guy with his life experience should have recognized crazy and been like, fuck this, I'm out. I know where this is going.
Glarer. I'm not gonna sit here and let Mad Squirrel impugn the reputation of cocaine.
If it didn't kill so many people, I'd be okay with it.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. That is the life ruiner. That's the life wrecker.
Absolutely. Stone Cold Jeremy said, this is a good point, and it is just a comment, right? Sometimes for the hopeless romantics, you just can't leave. Where you try to make it work to the best of your ability, sometimes it's just hard, hard to do that.
And I just want to say really quick, everybody in the comments in the chat, great discussion, great decorum. I like how we could talk about these things back and forth, because this is what I want to do. We really, I like to be different, first of all, than everybody else, but also too exploring the mental, because here's the thing. There's another aspect people have to be remember. When you are someone like Johnny Depp, Heath Ledger, Brad Pitt, any of these guys who dive deep into roles, these are guys who dive deep into their crafts. Some people say that Joker role messed up Heath Ledger like a lot to play that. He became that character, right? And when you have spent 60 movies becoming various people, in different roles, some awful people, some drug addicts, with different traits, you really envelop yourself. If you're a good actor, you envelop yourself into that world.
Method acting,
And you have no clue how hard it is to come back from that. And the other issue is he's a superstar. Dating someone like a normal person, I guess you'd call him, one of us or someone like that, it is something he can't do because he's always got that question. So then you end up with other Hollywood people, and you don't know how they're going to be, especially new Hollywood. All these new actresses are all.
Yeah, but my thing is like Cherry K is over here in the comments saying, well, he was abused by his mom as a kid, and he felt like he could fix her. Well, to me, that's just fucking foolish. And he's already too old and too much experienced in life to fall for such a rookie mistake and go that route. I honestly feel that way. I can't sympathize with those type of reasons necessarily. You know what I mean? Not for an older man, not for a man with as much life experience as he has. I can't. You know, you saw this coming. And she's that dangerous, you get the hell away. That's my attitude towards everything, you know. And same goes for her. If he's abusive towards her, get the hell out, leave. Mm-hmm. You're a Hollywood star, man. You know what I mean? Like, you've got a ton of support.
If she leaves, she's not able to use him.
Right? No, I agree. I'm not disputing. Like, I'm not saying that she's not guilty of all these horrible things that everybody here feels that she is. I'm saying that, you know, Johnny Depp should have seen this coming and walked away. You know, like he probably could have saved himself a whole lot of abuse if he would have just listened to his life experience side of himself and gone, you know what? No. You know, I mean, to me, that's egotistical. When Cherry K makes that as an excuse for him, to me, that's just egotistical. That's your ego thinking that you can change someone and fix someone. You know what I mean?
And you know what? There is a thing to be said about that. But Rebecca made a good point. Said he has such a pure soul he wanted cured. That just makes him even more special. But
I think that's ridiculous.
But with that, I want to point out one thing. You can see this side of him, which I can kind of buy into why he would have that I want to try to fix her kind of thing going. So he goes to children's hospitals, does great things with them. He's with all of his fans, and I showed a video of this, some footage of when he shot in Wisconsin and things like that. For the Dillinger movie. Ooh. He sits there and talks with all of his fans, hugs them all, takes the time to like shoot the crap with them for 5 seconds as he's moving down these lines, right? You could see by how he interacts with people, he's a genuinely nice guy. He actually cares about the charities he donates towards, you know. This is a man who's gave millions and he's gone and visit the kids in the hospital. I could see the psychology of him seeing this person who brings out this whole, like this Amber playing the whole, you know, typical wounded deer, I need to be fixed. Can you help save my soul? Kind of an act. And I can see the way his personality is falling for that act.
Well, it's easy to see that because she's doing it in the public square right now. You know what I mean?
I'm not blaming him for that either. I mean, you know, if you're a victim of manipulation, then you're a victim of manipulation. It's just the way that is. I'm not blaming him for that. What I'm saying is, once you see that you are in a toxic dynamic with someone, and it is literally dangerous at this point, then you get the hell out, because
love is blind.
I mean, the situation that you all are describing here, the kind of things that went on in this house, sounds to me like
crazy.
It sounds to me like a prelude to a lot of the true crime cases that I cover, where somebody ends up murdered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The one thing I do want to say to the effect, because I'll share a personal experience here with everyone. I had an ex, and for many months, people could see the writing on the wall. They could see we were done. And part of me wanted to prove everybody else wrong. Glare, your point, ego, right? And part of me invested 3 years. And I said, 3 years. This can't end like this. I can't. And I mean, we were to the point where there would be nights we lived in the same house, but we didn't sleep in the same bed. We didn't we didn't even talk to each other. I caught her on her phone texting other people on particular sites, like right out in the open, just left the phone there, like wanted me to find it type of stuff. And everybody said to me, Zod, this is over. What are you doing? Like, dude, like you said, get out. You're an idiot. What are you doing? But when you're in that situation, you look at it like, I invested this time, this energy. I give a part of myself that I don't give to everyone else. And for what? What was it all for? I wasted all of this time for nothing. And that's a feeling,
Nobody
too,
wants to hear you talk about that part.
Hey, look at this, Rebecca, and I'm not trying to attack you here, Rebecca. It's just that one of my big things, man, is accountability. You know, and I'm seeing just JD was cut off from his friends, dude. Nobody's cutting me off from anybody. I'm cutting myself off from people because I'm a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Accountability. She has said so many lies under oath, which the body cam has confirmed are lies. So what's the accountability for that?
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with you on any of that. What I'm saying is it's hard for me to, there's only so much that I'll let somebody convince me how victimized they are. You know what I mean? Until it's to a point to where they could have avoided the situation or made the situation better for themselves had they taken some sort of initiative to do so. Now, you know, at one point when somebody's just nasty and they get you, you know, it's like they say, fool me once, you know, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I almost had a George W. moment there.
Well, you know the thing.
But I mean, you know, this is a guy who's what? He's in his 50s, right? And you know, he it's not his first relationship. You know what I mean? He's hanging out. He's in a band with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. You don't think these people have been around crazy women? You know what I'm saying? Come on, dude. Like at some point, all I'm saying is at some point, you know, you don't get to sit there and be like poor Johnny when he could have like left the situation. And then there's another point Rebecca makes here where she's saying, well, how could he leave when he has nowhere to go? Dude, he's Johnny Depp. What do you mean he's got nowhere to go? He's Johnny Depp.
You know, and this is the thing. Is like I look at a long time ago, I was a victim of domestic violence, and the person had managed to cut me off from friends and family. But I was young. I was naive. But I knew something. Like I didn't see the forest from the trees because the gaslighting was that strong. And
she was a young squirrel.
I was very young, and there's always a way out. You just have to make it so. So that's where my line is in my head, is that from my experience with that, I had a choice. I stay and things get worse. I could, I was pregnant. I was like very young, and I definitely didn't have a lot of great places to go. My options of places to go to were not wonderful, but I had options. So I took it because I knew, and I took what I could that day. The moment I decided is the moment I left. And it was hard. I had tons of bad things that came out of that, but I dealt with it privately as much as I could. But the hard part of it is that I had to come to terms with the amount of gaslighting. And that happened. It happens in all relationships, like that type of toxic dynamic with gaslighting. And to the extent of, I know people that are in their 50s, I know people that are in their 30s and their 20s, where they're still in these really awful relationships and they don't realize how much control this person has put into their life. That's really not there. It's all superficial, like masking.
Oh no, it's crazy. I mean, I've been in abusive relationships where I'm like, I feel like, damn, this is going to get really bad, and I just tell myself it's not as bad as it really is.
Wait,
you
tell your
but
excuse me. You tell yourself it's not as bad, but how are you able to run away from the voices in your head?
Well, the thing is when you realize, that's the thing, is like I said, when I was in this relationship, I was much younger. I didn't have a lot of life experience. I never had a live-in girlfriend. That was the first girl I ever lived with. I didn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm under the impression, as a man, you stay and you make the best out of the situation and raise your kids, try to keep your family together. Your job as a man is to try to keep your family together. But that's not the case here. We're talking about a man who's significantly older than she is. I wouldn't be able to help but look at her and be like, oh, this is a child. What the fuck am I doing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think I get your point. Because when I look at my domestic violence situation that I had, I was young, so in my mind, I had that experience young. I made those F-ups. I think everybody has some weird, toxic, bad relationship, at least somewhere from the time they're in their teens, maybe to their early 30s, if you're, depending on where you're at. But let's just say you're in that category. There's some weird, toxic relationship that sets the motion of like the red flag system. So to stay away from the crazy.
That's my point.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think with her, there's a very magical group of individuals, and yes, they still exist in the adult world, and I deal with them on an interesting basis, but they're master manipulators, and they're older, and maybe they might be young, they might be old, but they're very good at lying in such a way that they actually change who they are. And that's something that not everybody has experienced. Like, it's a little different. It's not your stereotypical domestic violence like what you and I have talked about a little bit here, and like Becca's talked about. I think it's a little darker, and these individuals are so involved in a persona of being, they've never been themselves. They keep reinventing themselves every day, and they're really creepy, and they get to certain degrees of dangerous because they know how to manipulate people and systems. I think she's the master of the casting couch. I think that she knows how to manipulate using sexuality and appearance, and knows how to put on personas. And a lot of actresses do that. But I think there's something about her that's a big, giant red flag. He didn't want to see it. He lied to himself. Now he saw it, but it took all of this bullshit to wake him up. I hold him accountable for the responsibility to himself.
That's
in the end.
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's literally all I'm saying. I'm not blaming him. I'm in no way, shape, or form victim blaming here. I'm not blaming him for any of the abuse that he's endured. What I'm saying is I feel like a man. I'm surprised that a man of his age and life experience allowed himself to be in that position for as long.
And I would throw one more wrinkle into this. When you look, I've gone back through and look at all the people that he's dated and everything else like that. Look at every one of those situations. He's been the one who's broken it off. he's never been the one who's been broken up with. So when you look at this one, it's really interesting because in this case, I wouldn't really say she broke it off with him, but he very reluctantly, after, of course, the thing with his finger and everything else and all that was happening, he severed it very. There was something she said that just really
Severed.
pissed
Oh
him
my.
off. Yeah, poor choice of words. But the point
No, it
being is
wasn't.
that
I can't help but laugh at that. I can't help but laugh at the fact that he got his finger chopped off. I'm not laughing at the fact that it was under the circumstances of such a shitty situation. I'm not laughing at that at all. What I'm saying is, I mean, I could just imagine him being like, dude, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Did that just fucking happen?
And the fact that
And then when you hear his audio, when you hear the audio of him talking to her about the severed, like her cutting his finger, he gets, and you can hear it in his voice that, are you fucking serious?
Right?
Are you serious?
Did this just fucking happen?
Right.
Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, but at that very moment right there, I would be like, I am leaving. I am leaving right now. There's not a word you could say to me that's going to stop me from. I wouldn't even pack bags yet. I would be like, I'm Johnny Depp and I can go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
I think she had a really good emotional hold on him, and I don't know what it was. We don't know. Like, I think I apologize. Who said the comment earlier? It might have been KH. I'm not sure. I apologize. But intimate partners, there's a different level of intimacy there. So it's much different than having a buddy you go and party with versus somebody you're sexually intimate with, and you have that, you know what I mean, relationship where you're kind of interacting on that level. It changes the dynamic of the relationship. And I think that's the pussy magic is what I call it. So the pussy magic did something. We've seen it. I see it all the time. Every time you see a 7-year-old with a 16-year-old or some crazy ass news story, of how these young girls are getting with these older guys, that is pussy magic, So there is something to that. And he's going through like a delayed midlife crisis. Maybe, I don't know, when he met her.
And thank you, $2 super chat from Johnny Girl.
Johnny's Girl.
Yes. Exactly, Mad Squirrel and Glare spot on. Zod. Yep. So we're.
Good night, Becca.
And this is the stuff I want to talk about because the psychology of this whole thing is interesting, and I think it's fair to explore every aspect because, it's good to get all of the angles, all of the facts. It doesn't change one thing. At the end of the day, me personally, I think that she 100% has to be held accountable, and as from what I've heard. The big point here is he never abused her.
Big point. Bingo.
Yeah, so he never hit her. He never verbally abused her.
Is he actually friends with Doug Stanhope? That's what South Florida Drifters saying.
Yeah. I remember, yes.
Yeah, like I love Doug Stanhope. I love him. So like
hey, Maura.
I would imagine this dude being like, dude, get the hell out of there.
Right. South Florida Drifter made that example. She's like, I blame his friends just a little bit. And even they've said that they should have said something like where are your real friends when you're in something that dark? Okay. And there's something wrong. Is it because you don't want to like step on your guy's toes? It's a little, I know it's different dynamics.
Realistically with men normally, I mean, with me, dude, like if one of my friends is going through that, right, I don't want to overstep my boundaries. Right. I don't want to start telling people what they should and shouldn't be doing. But at the same time, I'll give friendly thoughts in the sense of, listen, I've actually had friends in this situation before. My answer to them is always, every single one of us deserves to be happy. Are you happy? If you're unhappy.
No, I don't. No, I don't have any donuts.
So if you're not happy, you got to take the next steps to make yourself happy.
Right.
Which is go buy those donuts. PB,
You know,
go buy those donuts.
Johnny's girl Deb said that Johnny knew Stanhope for 30 years. He tried to get JD to leave, and JD said he wanted to help her. So he had in his like white knighting mind that he was somehow helping her, because I'm sure she'd flip a switch, right? Oh,
yeah. I mean,
and you can hear it on the tape.
Yeah.
The interesting part about the audio, and this is interesting because I never thought I'd get into this whole thing, but the interesting part I noticed about the audio is you can track her flipping switches. It's the most interesting thing I've heard, because you hear you hear her switch from one beat to the next beat to the next beat. She goes from angry to we can make this work, then back to angry, then I don't understand why we can't be together. It's the weirdest. You actually see, like when he's finally said, I'm done, you see her pull out all the stops. And thank goodness he finally was like, nah, I'm out. But yeah, when you listen to the tape, you're like, holy crap, this chick is crazy. Like, she just flipped seamlessly, beat for beat, making excuses.
South Florida Drifter says she's going to post. Stanhope wrote an article about it, and so she's going to post that article in the chat, so that way you can take a look at it, Blair. But
I mean, yeah. The more I think about it, that the truth is, it's not surprising to me that none of his male friends, said, "Hey, dude," because we don't want to do that with our friends. Right. We don't. It's guys are like that, man. We don't do that. Right. Like if Zod started telling me something like that was going on with his old lady, I'd be like, man, that really sucks, dude. I really hope things work out for you. I hope, but you kind of trust the dude to make the right decision at some point. You hope that he does, and you just be kind of a support system. But you don't overstep your boundaries by telling somebody, hey, you need to get rid of this person, get them out of your life. You know what I mean? You never actually really, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Right.
Because
really quick, good night to Sean B, who just had to get going. But thank you for stopping in, Sean B. But Planet Q's Queen said that his sister, Johnny's sister, did say something, though. She did talk to him about it.
That's the family dynamic you always expect in these things.
Right.
But see, the family thing is tricky, too. The family thing is tricky because I've been in that situation where they'll tell you stuff and you'll be like, yeah, it really depends on where you're at in your relationship. I think that's a different sort of situation that maybe they saw coming just reading the kind of person she was. But I mean, I've had tons of things where it'd be like, your family would be like, that person's no good for you. And they don't even know them. So you're like, they just met this person. Like, really, you get more rebellious and you say, I think you're just hating someone and you haven't gotten to know them. They might be right. You might be with them for 50 years and they'll never like them. I've been in both situations. So
yeah,
that's always a tricky to go by. What's interesting about this is that Amber's family is siding with Johnny. So that's got to say something about it. When your own family...
Yeah, if your family is... If your spouse's family is siding with you, it's because they've known her their whole life. Her whole life. Right. They're like, this is no shocker.
Like two big red flags is one, the family is siding with the other person, or two, the family's MIA. You have to question what's up with that,
Yeah. Like this person that I was referring to, she doesn't get along with literally anyone. She has literally no family in her life that like, because she has to cause a problem. She has to start a dispute with them.
Right.
Like she's at war with her mother right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't relate to that. You know what I mean? I can't. Right. I can't do anything for you. If you're looking for that from me, I can't oblige you. I have the energy, but I'm just smarter about how I spend my energy these days in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm more careful. I look at energy as a certain currency, and you're not going to get that kind of energy from me.
I think that's a good way of putting it. Because, the more you're spending the energy in the wrong direction, you're paying for something you're not going to like the receipt for,
I like South Florida Drifter's point said, I totally agree. My girlfriends are grown women. I don't want to say something, then they'll get back together or they'll both hate me.
Yep.
But if one of my
God.
uses a freaking digit, time to speak up.
Oh, I've been in that boat. Oh God, it's horrible. Oh man, I'm the Antichrist.
Men don't have those problems though, really. Like men generally like boys are gonna stay boys, you know what I mean? Otherwise, somebody wasn't really a man in the whole thing. That's our attitude. That's our attitude. The whole thing is a macho.
If you guys have ever seen How I Met Your Mother, there's a bro code. You never break the bro code.
Whether it's spoken or unspoken, it's just the way it is. And women, it's like, man, South Florida Drifter. I have been that person that's been like, dude, because, oh man, I had to stop talking to a friend of mine because her husband was an asshole. He was really abusive, and he would think that because I was her friend, he could interact with me like that. And I was like, oh, hell no. I handed his ass to him. And then I wasn't welcomed in the house anymore because I was a bad influence. I'm like, I can show you a couple of things. Like cement, the front end of a car, falling on your keys, whatever you prefer, but you're never going to talk to me like that, And I told her, I said, you can deal with that, but I'm not. And I told you before, I don't like this, I don't approve of this behavior. I warned you that this is getting worse. And he was projecting it, and he ended up isolating her. And of course, she was mad at me because I wouldn't put up with it. I'm like, I'm not putting up with watching you be abused and then me indirectly getting abused too. I'm like, no, thank you. If he wants to victimize people, that's on that son of a bitch. That's not on me. And you have to deal with your own trash. I'm not your mom. Take out your trash, girl.
Right. Yeah.
So if you have a friend that turns their back on you because, they didn't want to see it and they got nasty with you, this shows their level of maturity. And unfortunately, they chose this path, and the path has chosen them in return. And there is nothing you can say or do to twist that or get them off of that track. It just pisses me off. Oh my God, I'll never fucking.
I want to bring things towards a broader topic that no one's
sounds
talked
like
about.
They got forked on the path.
Oh my!
And this is the interesting topic that I want to talk about because there's a couple of stats and figures I want to give with this.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah!
Holy shit! You looked up numbers? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I did Zod does have
some tips from Tiffany
I don't
Daniels.
fucking believe that for a goddamn second. No fucking way.
I watched a couple of Tiffany Daniels videos.
Out the fucking window. They crawl down. They grab some fucking receipts out of the trash. Those are his numbers.
So, anyways,
raccoons.
A lot of people in the media, in the shill media, have been saying that Johnny Depp is done, right? It's over. Mm-hmm. And they do this with all the males.
That's crazy.
Specifically the males. Thank you, Blair. They say, once these come out, if that's the case, Hollywood, why is James fucking Franco still making... Anyways, so they say Johnny Depp can't pull in an audience. Well... City of Lies.
Because he's your favorite. You pay for all of his films.
No, didn't like it, but good for him.
I still haven't seen it.
Some people like it, some people don't. I'd say it's worth a watch. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But
I'm telling you, I was pleasantly surprised with The Professor. I love that movie.
I thought he was on my list.
I thought he was fantastic.
My father's odd. Thank
you. I thought he was brilliant.
See, Glare, I needed to have you in my corner on that one. Okay, anyways, I'm just glad to be validated for that pick. Anyways.
Oh my God, you always need someone in your corner. You can't fucking win on your own.
So I want to bring up City of Lies. And we're going to my sources. Hold on, Squirrel brought them up. Okay. These are the sources. As you can see, the raccoons are back. The epidemic did not get to these lucky four. Okay, so they said his career is over. He made this movie 2 years ago, which got held up because of legal disputes. It was number 2 in the box office before Godzilla and Kong came out. It was like 2-3 straight weeks of number 2 at the box office.
Yeah.
City of Lies. Now, he also came out with Minamate, I believe it was, and that was also number 3 in the box office. Now, Amber Heard is coasting on one movie, $1 billion, which could be arguably not carried by her. Let's be real. Everybody in the chat, all the women in the world want to see Jason Momoa with no shirt. That's just a fact. No one even, I think, still knows.
Whoa. Hold on. Don't sell the men short.
Okay. True. Before that, all that came out. So they say he doesn't have staying power. Why is it a movie he made 2 years ago comes out recently, highest seller on VOD, number 1? It was the second highest in the theater until Kong came out. And now let's look at Amber Heard. Does anyone here realistically, now I'm being serious, realistically on this panel, think she can carry a movie by herself? She's not a Jennifer Lawrence.
She's in a movie by herself?
No, I'm just saying, do you think she could carry a movie?
No, that's my point.
Right.
I mean, has
how
she
old
been
is she? Hold on. How old is she? Let's do a direct comparison here. I don't know her exact age, but
has she been cast in a major lead role yet?
I don't. Nothing bigger.
No, she's always been a supporting cast member.
She was born in 1986.
So she's about in her 30s.
Right. She's older than your favorite actress, Brie Larson.
Which, to Brie Larson's credit, God help me,
who has
she's carried a movie
Oscar,
by.
Which I know how much you appreciate those.
She's carried a movie by herself twice. Captain Marvel, which
twice.
Jude Law might as well have not been a factor in that, so we'll just give that to Brie. And
Samuel L. Jackson is in the movie, you fuck.
and she carried that movie, which won awards and was excellent. The Room, not the Tommy Wiseau.
Billie Jean says Gone Girl was another film. Maybe.
She wasn't starring in that, though. Come on, Gone Girl. Casey Affleck.
Yeah, what about Unicorn Store? I know how much you love the Unicorn Store.
Gone Girl made me so mad. Gone Girl made me so mad. Like, I walked out of the theater angry at the ending.
He was gone mad.
Like, I was, dude, the movie, all of a sudden, I mean, she does all these horrible things to this man, and he goes out of his way to finally prove and get everything that he needs because he suspects that she did this horrible thing. And then she murders somebody. She murders somebody, or at least a couple people. Mm-hmm. And then like at the end of it, she's just like, we're just gonna be happy together. And he's like, okay.
Duh.
You know what I mean?
I'm like, life imitating art in this.
I'm like, where are your balls, Ben Affleck's character? What is going on here, dude? Like, I mean, they're living together. At some point, I'm going to record her admitting to what she's done. Now, I realize they're in the shower, but at some point, she's going to let her guard down, and then you're going to catch her off guard, and you're going to record her. You know what I mean? Like, there was no justice in that story. There's no justice in that story at all. And it's just like the book, supposedly. Supposedly, the book was the same way.
So, no justice, no peace.
God bless.
But yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna say that out of all of this, what I would ideally like to see, despite Johnny Depp winning and getting some money back, because he's lost millions in this whole thing, probably a lot more. I would like to see her take a hit for this, because after this happened, she got the stand, and every project she's touched recently, and this is no joke. Every project she's touched recently has turned to shit. The Stand was a colossal flop. Um, Also, too, it was
The
bad
what?
casting all the way around, but mainly, a lot of people who would have tuned in if. Then again, it's CBS All Access trash. Come on, who watches that? Fucking CBS. Fuck you, CBS, for
You
what you
do.
did
Don't you watch fucking
and
Picard?
Twilight Zone. Fuck you. I will never forget. Season two can kiss my ass. The whitest part of my ass, which is the whole thing, it can kiss it all. Jordan Peele, you disappointed me. You fucking disappointed me. I sat here a couple years ago and I praised your
What
movie
the
Us.
fuck
I
happened?
praised it. I was a huge fan of Get Out. And what'd you do? You bent me over a table, Jordan. You
Oh
bent me
my
over a
God.
table and you rammed it in good. Thank you. Thank you for fucking up a Rod Sterling classic. And the man is rolling over in his grave, you piece of shit.
Feel better?
So what do you think of the Twilight Zone remake?
God, and the balls that he had to use the original fucking Twilight Zone music at the last episode and digitally impose Rod Sterling,
Oh
giving
my
the
God.
"Hey guys, don't you just love the way he raped this?" and put social justice warrior bullshit and gun control and Black Lives Matter. Go, Jordan, you fuck. Oh God, got such a bad taste. I'm not happy. I was looking forward to Candyman, but I'll tell you right now, I'm on the fucking fence about everything he makes now. I'm on the
The
fence.
Candyman can.
I never watched the original Candyman movie either. I had no interest in it.
The original one was good.
I'm sorry you
Nah.
guys
Like
got the rant for the day, but I couldn't help it. Like, if you see my review, it slowly goes downhill because I'm like, the first episode, right up here, funny, a great message, really creepy. Second episode, nah. Third, what the
Mhm.
fuck are we doing? Fourth, what is this shit? By the eighth, I was ready to kill someone. And then there was one good one with my boy from Walking Dead, Stephen Yun. One good episode that was Twilight Zone-esque, and I go, there's hope. There was literally a fucking episode called All Men Created Equal. And you know what it was about? It was
And it's
about
got a
how
bunch of women.
men get affected by this gene from a satellite that activates our alpha gene, and we just start fucking beating and abusing women we can find. And I'm like, oh my God, yep, we're
The
going down
fuck?
there. Yeah, it's called
That sounds about
called
right.
Not All Men Created Equal. It was
Hello,
the
Lily
worst-
Potter. How are you?
It
That
was
sounds
the
awful.
Lily.
it was the worst. Oh, hey, Lily. I was in the middle of a rant. Hi. It was the worst
Fuck.
thing I've ever seen. It made me feel so slimy after watching that
Yeah, the
episode.
worst
I
thing
felt
ever.
like I needed a fucking shower. And Bitchy's laughing and she goes, "Oh my God, she's not." And then they used
I've been on panels where I feel like that, where I'm like I need a shower after I was in that panel. I'm like, wow, this is toxic as fuck. Like, yeah,
It was-
I know that feeling.
It was so bad that Bitchy is watching this episode with me laughing because my face is beet red because I'm getting more pissed off. And then the ending is the icing on the fucking cake
Oh my
because
God.
they used the fucking Captain Marvel line where the girl's walking away at the end and the military came and did their own thing to sweep up whatever happened. And the fucking soldier looks at the girl who went through hell and her father tried to kill her, all this stupid shit. And she walks out and the guy goes, "Hey, why don't you smile?" And I'm like, fuck my life. No fucking cock-sucking fucking son of a bitch. They
I
did
don't know how they
fuck
could.
me. I just, a string just like that. And she goes, "This was the greatest episode ever." I go, "Oh my God. I can't fucking do it. I can't do a whole week of this shit. I can't. I'm done." I tapped out. Done. I didn't even fucking make it to 10 until someone told me, "Oh, Zod, you're gonna love number 10." So I went back through, I watched it, and I'm like, Jordan, you just had to complete the ramming. You had to bring back Rod Sterling to co-sign this bullshit. You are the biggest piece of shit directing right now. You used
PB,
God,
why
he's
are you
saying the
not?
same fucking rant again?
Why are you not
Jesus
correcting him every
fucking
time?
Christ, guy.
Every time he says Rod Sterling, it's Rod
On what?
Sterling without a T. PB, I need you to correct him on these things. I'm not the one that's supposed to do that. You're supposed
Because
to do that.
I didn't fucking know the actor's fucking name. I didn't watch the Twilight Zone, so I had no idea he was fucking
He's
it
not
up,
an actor.
you dipshit Zod.
He's the creator of probably, arguably, the greatest television show in history.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably.
It's never number one on any list.
I wouldn't argue that. Twilight Zone is probably the best show. I didn't care for the Outer Limits. One Step Beyond's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. But like Twilight Zone.
I don't like being told not to adjust my TV.
He's like, he saw that and he goes, nope, fuck this.
Oh, I don't even know what to do.
Look, this is a real turnoff, guy.
I hate to do this, guys, but I have to go because I got a morning.
Yeah, we got to do a stream. I'm going to cut this off right now.
I'm the one that's supposed to go. Oh my God, thank God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I
so
was supposed to come on here and say, fuck you and leave.
And here you are.
I've acquired another person. He's not black, it's
off.
cool. Anyways. Go check out Mad Squirrel. She's gonna have a rousing conversation with Father Zod tomorrow about something because he didn't put topics in here, but he's probably gonna get on me about having the video pulled for Mortal Kombat. So that'll be an interesting discussion. I did all the tags and everything. Check out Pop Culture PB's after party on Saturday, where you'll get to hear PB rants, and go check out The Glare and his channel because he's just got some great stuff. You're doing a stream when for? Because you moved it?
There's just an update in the case that I'm talking about, and I'm doing it tomorrow afternoon at 1:00 if I wake up on time.
Ancient One, I'm actually heading to bed once I get off of here because I have to make
me
calm
too.
swap, so.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Like yawning over there.
And it.
So,
good night,
anyways,
everybody.
Good night, everyone, and have a wonderful evening. And remember, everybody, kneel before Mortal Kombat 2021. Good night.
Oh my God, get over it.